Hello people of YouTube, it's Deephack here, and welcome to DCS World 2.9.19 and Deca Ironworks Simulations JF-17 Thunder Module. Welcome to Bonus 3, Radio Programming. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to program the radio in the JF-17 using both the UFC, which is the standard method, and the backup radio head that you'll find on the left console. The UFC allows you to access most of the functions of COM1 and COM2, with the exception of manual tuning and the ability to change the frequency of a preset. Those two features are only available on the backup radio head on the left console. So first let's dive into the controls we do have on the UFC here. Note that your radio volumes are controlled down here on the ACP for COM1 and COM2. So adjust those as necessary. And then up here on the UFC, we can see what preset COM1 and COM2 are on the default UFC page. If you're not on this page, you can always return to it by pressing the return key on the UFC. If I press the line select key next to COM1, we get all of the controls for the COM1 radio. And if I wanted to flip-flop to the other radio, to COM2, I can press the other line select key, which shows a dot just now. That always shows you which radio you're currently programming, the one that actually shows the current preset. To change the preset, I simply click the line select key again, and I can enter any given preset that I want, and press the line select key again to accept it. Or, alternatively, I can hit line select and use the up and down rocker to go through the different selections, and then press line select key again when I'm happy with that selection. From top to bottom, we have the encryption mode. Currently this radio is in plain or unencrypted mode. If I hit this line select, we go into CMS, which is encrypted. Or if I press it again, I go into TRS, which is encryption with frequency hopping. This is equivalent to systems like Havquick in many Western aircraft. If I press it one more time, we go back into plain. There's then the emergency mode, which I'll demonstrate in just a moment, but it allows us to immediately tune the radio to a guard frequency. We have the receive and transmit mode here. We're currently in normal receive and transmit. If I click it again, we go into receive, transmit, and guard. Normally you would want to be monitoring guard on one of your radios, so this is a good mode to have. We then have the squelch status. Plus means that squelch is on. Minus means squelch is off, and we can then hear the background noise. I'm going to put squelch back on. And then network and master-slave options are only used for data link operations, so we can ignore them for the purposes of this video. If I hit return, I go back to the main menu again. So lastly, let's take a little look at emergency. If I choose the emergency mode, we have to confirm whether or not we want UHF or VHF guard. If I choose VHF, it will give me 121.5. If I choose UHF, it will give me 243 MHz, which is UHF guard. If I hit return, the radio will indicate E for emergency, and then either 243 or 121, so I know which emergency frequency I'm on. To return to normal mode, I go back into the radio options, back into emergency, and I deselect my chosen frequency, hit return, and you'll note that I'll be back on my original frequency. Okay. That's everything you can do from the UFC. Let's reset and take a little look at the backup radio head on the left console. Okay, so if we look down here at the left console, we can see the backup radio head. By default, this is not controlling any of the radios. We have a push button here, which is labeled Radio Control Handover. If we press this button, while this light is on, this head will control COM1. So you can see I'm currently on preset 001. The UFC is on preset 5. Let's demonstrate how we can actually change the frequency. Also note we've got the main mode selector here. We're currently in TR for transmit and receive. You could also be in TRG. I'm going to leave it in TR for this particular demonstration. Also, we could put it into GD for guard, and that would immediately tune guard. ADF mode is not implemented. And the set mode we'll go over in just a moment. That's how we actually program our presets. Note that you can see your presets in the kneeboard on the page labeled Preset Channel Frequency. So I'm going to put this into preset 8. So we've got the handoff light illuminated. We're going to press pre for a preset. You also have the option of pressing man for a manual tune. So preset, and then P for plane, and then we can type in the preset we want. I'm going to enter 008, and it immediately tunes to 008. I chose this frequency because I know that there's a VOR on this frequency, and we're getting a Morse code. It makes it very easy to tell that we're tuned. If I hit the handover again, you'll note that we lose the Morse code, because now the UFC is controlling COM1, and the UFC is on preset 5. So that's an easy way to tell what's going on. The radio will remain on that preset, so if I hand off back again, I'm immediately back on preset 8. That's kind of handy. You could leave this radio programmed for a particular frequency and kind of flip back and forth. Pushing my normal COM1 push to talk would transmit on this frequency as long as this light is on. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a manual tune. If we press man, plane, and then I'm going to enter 122 and press enter. We are now immediately tuned to 122 megahertz, and that will be our COM1 frequency as long as I don't deactivate the handover. Now the handover is deactivated, the UFC is controlling the radio again. If I hit the handover again, it immediately jumps to the last preset I was using. It won't actually retain a manual tune, unfortunately. But yeah, if you do need to manually tune COM1, this gives you that facility. Last thing that you might want to do is to actually change a preset. So let's make sure that we have our current preset that we want to change. I'm on preset 8. Let's go ahead and rotate the selector to the set option. It confirms to us the currently tuned frequency. We're going to press enter, and then we're going to enter 1, 2, 3, and press enter again. I've now reprogrammed preset number 8 to 123 megahertz. We could now go back to TR, and that will now be the frequency that we're using, 123. And yeah, if we go ahead and turn off the handover, the UFC is back in control once more. So those are the basics of using the backup radio head on the JF-17 Thunder, and how to use the UFC to control your radios normally. I hope you all enjoyed that. Fly safe, and I'll see you all next time.